Welcome to Smokeysteveandmarc.
I'm Mark.
I'm Steve.
Welcome back. Oh, and welcome to Camp SSAM. Oh, I have to admit, I was excited about this segment.
I know, it's not summer without summer.
No, it's not. And
Yeah.
I have some really great memories from summer camp. I really do. I went camping a lot as a child and, as an adult too. And, it just, I don't know. I'm hoping with this segment, a lot of people, they haven't been camping since probably they were a child.
No.
And I think maybe we're going to, bring us back to our childhood a little bit.
Just a little
with some
bit,
camping,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to do at camp. I have great memories of camp crafting.
Oh,
My favorite. I loved camp crafting. Loved
stringing
it.
beads in the rain.
Oh yeah,
That's an indoor activity because it's raining out.
Yep.
So it's ping pong or beads.
Oh yeah, they could keep their ropes courses and their canoeing and all that.
Yeah, I would stay inside.
Crafting, and then and of course camp cooking. Oh, love it. I learned how to grill a hot dog at camp.
Yeah,
I did.
Really?
Okay, I was like 8 or 9 years
I was going
old.
to say, couldn't you have kind of guessed it first?
I was really little,
Yeah.
And then of course all stories around the campfire.
Oh yes,
Creepy
creepy stories.
Now you never really went camping, huh?
Camping? No. Well, I wasn't like a Boy Scout and I wasn't a Cub Scout or any of that kind of stuff. So it was never like part of any activity I did.
Oh yeah.
We fished, but I mean, aside from that, there was nothing close to camping that we really. Nothing that we really did.
I think everybody should experience it at least once. When I was very young, I went to a day camp. It was like my grandmother would drop me off in the morning and then pick me up in the evening, and I must have been like, 9 or something. And then when I got older, I graduated to the overnight camp.
Ooh.
And it was called Camp Luther Crest. And my first year was a week. And then my second year and all the years after, it was 2 weeks after that. And we stayed in cabins, and I have really good memories. As a matter of fact, talking about campfire stories, I have a great camp story, but maybe the next time we visit Camp SSAM, because I got to figure it out. Might be a little TMI. I don't know.
TMI camping story.
Yeah. Well, now don't get your head out of the gutter now, really.
Hey,
Nothing
I'm just.
like that.
Hey, you pitched the idea. I said okay.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll do that. But you, I hear, might have a little campfire story.
I might have a campfire story. Now, one of the things I have had the chance to do, if not camping, is sit around a number of campfires. If you ever been to a meeting where there's 12 steps, you ever been to a rehab, gone away for 90 days, you've sat in a circle and burned pieces of paper inside of a campfire like that.
Yes.
And I definitely like that whole experience of the smell and the smoke, and your back's freezing, so you turn.
Yeah.
And the whole world's your ashtray.
You have
a lot of those. Yeah, that part of the
there.
camping experience is something that I've had, which I liked. So I do have a story or two, actually, that are campfire appropriate, I think.
Would you like to tell us one now?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay, well, here, let's check out Steve's campfire story time. It's a little story time.
Well, hello, everybody. I wasn't sure if you guys were all familiar with one of my favorite stories. It's not necessarily a spooky story, though it is a bit scary depending on your perspective. So I wanted to share the story of my fishing pole. You've heard the running joke on the channel before. Steve, tell them about the fishing pole. And I had a fishing pole story that went with, and it was one that painted me kind of as a victim of circumstance and family and whatnot. So I had my last weird year as like a teenager, probably when I was about 13 or so. That was my last, gone from being a chubby kid to being a, obese teenager. It was a rough few years ahead, but this was the last of my kiddie type summers that I was having. And we had relatives that would come up and visit from Delaware who would stay locally. They'd get a lake house and they'd stay for the week. And we lived locally, obviously. So we would go up and visit and hang out with them. Now there was a cousin there who was a very favorite cousin of mine, one of my very favorites. I have a few, thankfully, was there. And he was a second by marriage. It's my mother's first cousin husband. And he was kind of black sheep vibes, which clicked with me because I have black sheep vibes too. I remember going to hang out and do lake things, and everyone's like, let's get on the motorboat, let's go out jet skiing, let's dive for golf balls and do sorts of fun stuff. And he would sit in the backyard with a case of beer and a lawn chair and talk your ear off. He was from the South. You could tell a tale. And I liked him, he was fine with me. So we went out fishing one afternoon, and it was on the lake, and it was the first time I ever had a terrible sunburn on the top of my head because I had shaved my head, buzzed that summer. Always had long hair as a kid. And until I was in college, I had longer hair. Buzzed it all off, got a wicked sunburn on the top of my head, and I have burns on my thighs from where I was out on a boat with no sunblock or hat on for 3 hours, catching sunnies. Nothing major. So after we had this nice time hanging out, and it's with one of the relatives that was like I clicked with more, as they were leaving, packing up and going back to, it's Sunday, everyone's vacation's over, we've got to go. My cousin came over and said, "Here, I just want to give you this. This is the fishing pole that we were using." Well, it was similar to this. I'll tell you what happened with that one. So, pole like this, he pulls out, and we were just, like I said, doing fun, like sunnies and bluegills and stuff, just little fish for volume, and it was fun. So it was great. So I have this fishing pole. I bring it home, and obviously I moved in and out of my parents' house a couple times. Like, I accumulated stuff when I was living there in school, and then left and came back to a different couple dorm living places, and a few things end up at mom and dad's every so often. So for whatever reason, Mark and I decided we were going to go to Santa Claus, Indiana. Okay, when we're going to see Holiday World, we did that. It was almost 10 years ago, I think, that we went, actually. And one of the things we were toying with the idea with was camping, And then I couldn't find my fishing pole. Like, I had no idea. I went in the basement, which my parents have a lot of stuff in there. It's organized. It's not like a hoarded fire trap. But there's stuff all over the place. Dad's projects are working on something. Mom's got the perfect box for some gift, and it has to be kept as well. And I went to look for the fishing pole to take with us to Indiana. And of course it would still be there because it was a gift from a family member who since died. And I went asking, and I said, "Mom, where's some other stuff from college here? Where's my fishing pole?" It's like, "What fishing pole?" She's like, "Oh, I didn't think you wanted it, so we got rid of it." It was taking up space. There is more things taking up space in that basement, Mom and Dad love you dearly, than this. This was the amount of space, if not less, that it was taking up, and it was put away. Meanwhile, you should see the crap that got to stay for 30 years. So, at any rate, I've told this story too many times, and I've lost friends over it. But, as it turns out, I did end up getting another replacement fishing pole. So, this was a gift from Mom and Dad, I think it was a couple Christmases ago. So the fishing pole story's moral is that don't trust people with stuff that matters. They'll throw it away. No, not really. That's not really it. One is, some things are... Would you think that a fishing pole would be special to someone like me? It has something that I don't even fish, but it ties me to a time, to a person, to an event. That's one of those... It could never happen again, rest his soul. And, it was like I felt seen by another black sheep in that time. And this was kind of a little memento of that. So everything was symbolic of something else. It wasn't like, man, I wanted to go fishing and I couldn't find it. We didn't even camp on that Indiana trip. We returned the tent to Walmart and stayed in a hotel. So that's my fire. That's my fishing pole story. So now you've heard it. If it comes up again, you'll know what it's in reference to. Any questions, please leave them below. Thanks, y'all.
Okay, so now we all know the fishing pole story. Love it. Some of us more than others, actually. I've heard that story probably 20, 30 times now. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I know some of you have too.
You love it.
Oh, yeah, I do love it though. Okay, so now for our next segment here, I'll tell you. Okay, so Steve's fishing pole story wasn't like a ghost story around the campfire or anything, and I don't know, traditionally, story time at camp is usually a spooky story. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to, I don't know, kind of talk about some haunted campgrounds. Are you ready to get the shivers? Ooh. The campfire is out, it's dark outside your tent, and you hear something rustle in the woods. You know it's probably nothing, but your body is on alert. Then, as a shadow slowly passes over your tent, you ask yourself, Why did I think it would be a good idea to spend the night at a haunted campground?
Here we present to you 3 of the most haunted campgrounds in the U.S.
First up is Lake Marina in California. This lakeside campground near the start of the Pacific Crest Trail has experienced paranormal activity for at least 40 years, and although very picturesque, this site has had its fair share of tragedies. In 1916, the Marina Reservoir overflowed, killing more than 50 people. On October 26, 1983, the San Diego Union ran a story with the headline, "More Than Fish Haunt Marina." At the time, park volunteers and rangers attested to witnessing everything from levitating bodies, hearing footsteps when no one was around, and whispers in the night air. And in the years since, guests have reported similar experiences, and even a woman in white standing at the shoreline.
There are miles of buried tunnels, dead ends, and old rooms beneath Fort Worden Historical State Park, a former military base that's now a campground 60 miles north of Seattle. There's a lot to be explored here that will definitely give you the shivers, including century-old fortification that used to house thousands of troops. Visitors and campers claim to have witnessed paranormal activity, including glowing orb sightings and a high electromagnetic feeling in the air. Even sightings of apparitions have been reported all over the campsite.
In New Mexico, the Holy Ghost Campground within the Santa Fe National Forest is an isolated but scenic place to camp. But before you go, know that it's rumored to be the haunting grounds of a Spanish priest who was murdered there in the 17th century.
In fact, the surrounding Pecos wilderness is home to all kinds of bizarre activity. There are a number of people who have gone missing in the vicinity. Locals describe it as the Bermuda Triangle of New Mexico, and people have also had UFO encounters there as well. Lots of them.
Apparitions, UFOs, disappearances. Even with all of these reportings, a spokesperson from the Santa Fe National Forest denied the existence of paranormal activity, stating, "Holy Ghost Campground cannot be haunted for one simple yet big and important reason. Ghosts are not real."
Or are they? Who can say for sure? Maybe there's some type of cosmic doorway that opens up at these spooky campgrounds. One thing is for sure, there are plenty of reported haunted campgrounds out there, and we've only scratched the surface. So, that was definitely something, wasn't it? So, we are going to actually go into the camp kitchen. I believe Mark might be moving a few pans around here and there, and let's see what he's got lit up. So, let's go check it out.
Oh boy, so I snuck away to the camp kitchen for a fabulous recipe, y'all. This recipe is so easy, and it's a great accompaniment to your burgers or your chicken or your hot dogs, or it's a great standalone treat too. We're gonna be making some grilled potato skewers. Oh, and just wait, they are so delicious. So to start off, you're gonna need, oh yeah, some red skin potatoes, the little round ones like this. Now you could also use regular baby round potatoes as well. I just really love the flavor of the red skins, And we're gonna be doing 4 potatoes on each skewer. So however many potatoes you want to use, go ahead and do it. I think we're gonna be making about 3 or 4 of them today, okay? And you wanna just make sure that they're all relatively around the same size, okay? All right, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is boil our potatoes. Oh yes, and we want them to be kind of like al dente pasta. You know, like one step before fork tender, and depending on the size of your potatoes, that could be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Oh yeah. Okay, so our potatoes are all done. It took about 12 minutes, and they're drained, and we're letting them cool off just a little bit so we can handle them. And we have our grill set to medium high. You know, our camp grill here. And I say, let's make our sauce. So in my bowl here, we have 2 tablespoons each of grated Parmesan cheese, fresh chopped parsley, minced garlic, and then we have about 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. And then to that, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter. Oh yeah, butter, 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 butter. Okay, and then get my little thing here, and then we're just gonna mix that up until it's all nice and combined, just like that. Okay, we are good. We are good. We are good. All right, now this is going to be our sauce that we brush onto our potatoes. Speaking of, let's get those babies skewered. And for this, it's so easy. I have some wooden skewers here, which I soaked in some water for a couple hours, you know, prior to doing this, okay? And it really, I mean, it's as easy as like just poking them through, just like that. And like I said, we're gonna do 4 on each one, just like this. Okay. And then we're gonna set them on a plate. Ta-da! There we go. Oh boy. And now for the really good stuff. Oh yes, we're going to brush these all over with our garlic sauce we just made. Yes. So just give them a nice little brushing here. Oh yeah. Okay, and remember, flip those babies over, get both sides. We want to get this yummy stuff all over it. All right. Oh yes, oh yes. And now, oh, we grill. Yes, our grill is nice and hot, and we're gonna put these right over direct heat. Dun, dun. Hear that sizzle? Okay, and then we're just gonna let them grill until they're nice and golden, and you get those nice char marks on there, and that'll be about 6 minutes. And then you're gonna flip them and do the other side too. So definitely check them around 4, but 4 to 6 minutes, depending on the size of your potatoes, of course. So cook, little skewers, cook. We have grill marks. Nice, nice, nice. You know, I remember, having these at the camp I went to as a kid. Oh, I looked forward to them every year. I just loved them. Ooh, I think we're done. I think we're done. So now we're just going to remove these from the grill. Let's turn our grill off here. Okay. And we're just going to set them on a plate like so. Take that. Oh, don't they look good? Oh my goodness. Here, let me get this out of the way. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. Okay. So now we're on a plate here, and we're just going to give them a last little brush with just a little bit more of our garlic butter here. Oh gosh, yes. And then, oh yeah, we're gonna top them with additional fresh herbs and grated Parmesan, just like this. Oh my goodness. Oh, doesn't that look like a picture? For real. Oh. Oh, I'm so happy with these. I really, really am. You know, serve them with a side of sour cream. Oh, or for those people out there that like ketchup, you know, with something like this, I suppose you could add ketchup if you wanted to, but I just stick with sour cream. Well, there you have it. Our Camp Kitchen grilled potato skewers. Goodness. We've had a lot of fun today.
We've had a lot of
Our
fun.
first day at camp.
I know, and it's only day one.
I know. How about our potato skewers?
I've never in my life.
No?
No.
Oh, you gotta try them. They're good. I had them at camp when I was little. Oh, I just loved them. I think I already said that though, but it bears repeating. It does. Good? You like them? Yay! You know, you can, I didn't put any on there, but
Oh,
dip them in, you know. And let me guess, what would you dip them in?
Oh, probably a little bit of ketchup.
See?
What? I'm trash. Whatever. I don't put it on a steak.
Oh, nice, easy, portable.
Yeah. Very tasty,
and
too.
delicious.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Yeah, they're like a standalone thing, or you can have them, you know, with your hamburgers and hot dogs or whatever.
Yeah.
So. Oh, boy, we have so much to do, too. Like, my gosh, we didn't even get to camp crafting.
Oh, I know you didn't get to that.
Yeah, we have a craft cabin ready to go. I guess we'll do that the next time we visit camp. Well, you know, I mean, there's still a lot of summer left. The camp is going to be open for the rest of summer, so I'm sure we're going to be coming back a few
I've been in and out a few times. Just, you know.
Definitely. But I really enjoyed hearing your fishing pole story.
Oh, thank you. I hope you did too. If you did it on mute, I understand. It's okay.
We've added some other stuff.
Please don't think less of me. Yeah, well, yeah,
You know.
I tried to give a little context. It's a standalone story of this tiny thing was taking up so much space that you threw it out in the interest of keeping the rest of this. And then I played the guilt trip for years on my mom until they finally just got me another fishing pole.
They're just like, here, be quiet about it.
It's been 27 years. Can you let it go?
Let it go, please. But yeah, we'll have a lot of fun on future Camp SSAM. And we were just wondering, do you happen to have any camp stories of their own?
You ever stayed out overnight in the woods and it became scary?
Oh, that's a good story.
Even when I went to Catholic camp, it was out in the middle of nowhere, and that was scary. I went on those sober men's camps I went to for a couple of days.
You know, I did too.
You know, they're a different kind of intention to being there. It's not just going out to do something. You're going for this group and this organization for that whole thing. But that's the closest I've come. A lot of bonfires, like I said. A lot of bonfires I've been around, which I love.
I went to one, and as an adult, I went to a proper camp, but it was like an AA or an NA retreat type thing, but it was a lot of fun, and it was proper. We were sleeping in tents. And I had never really built a tent before, and I went with at the time, my best friend. His name was Dave, and I had this crush on him. Oh my gosh, for like a year, it was sickening. I was obsessed. No. I didn't tell him. He didn't know.
Of course.
But it was just me and him in a 2-man tent. I was all like, ooh. But it was 2 nights and intense. And it was a nice campground because we were far apart. It wasn't like we were right up against each other, you know? Yeah. And it was just, I don't know. It was a lot of fun and great memories. And nice thing about those retreats are like every, say, I don't know, 4 or 5 campsites, that person or group that was staying there would be in charge of food. So like out of the whole campground, there probably were like 10 places you could go and eat, you know, good. And then converse a little bit, then walk along, do more. It was really nice. And they had they had showers and bathrooms and stuff there too. So that was my adult camping story. Well, besides the almost adult camping story that you talked about, Holiday World.
I don't know if it counts as camping. I slept in a tent, but the tent was in a covered garage. I went to a party in New Hope. A friend of a friend got married. Big place, big property, giant bonfire. Nice night. And everyone just camp over, just stay. So people had their RVs, and I had never built a tent. We weren't even going to approach that if it wasn't built up to sleep in the car. And just my friend and I, we stayed in a tent in a garage, and you'd hear the deer go by.
Oh yeah,
on the blacktop go by.
Cool. Wow, now what do you guys think? Does that count or doesn't it count?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
All right. Well, I think we've had enough fun for today. I think we kept you at camp pretty long. It's nighttime now, and it's cold. Our campfire is slowly dying, so I think we'll bring it in for the evening.
Bring it in. Well, thank y'all for watching. Please do subscribe. Notification bell, get alerts when we have new videos and go live. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Contact info's below. Thank you, and we will catch up with you very, very soon.
Oh, yes, we will. And a little birdie told me, there's a lot of birds around here. A little birdie told me that we may have a special visitor later on this week. We'll see who it is. Thanks again, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our Camp SSAM show tonight, and you have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Ciao, everybody. I guess
potatoes first.
Potatoes. Here's the potatoes.
Then worry about fire.
All right, here we go.